Ready?
That's me.
Right on the dot, 10 o'clock. Here's your 12 men.
Looks like 11 and a half to me.
Meaning I ain't big enough?
Run along, Shorty. Cutting timber's a big man's job.
Oh, is he big enough?
Big enough for my dough.
Now am I big enough?
Shorty, I'm going to make you the foreman so you can keep these big fellas working. Here's the list. Now, my place is 40 miles back of the hills. I pay $4 a day in your grub.
And we expect a full day's work out of every one of you mugs.
All right, pile in.
Hey, Mr. Grady.
Yeah.
I just blew in a town on a freight. How do I know you're good for that $4 a day?
Sure. Come Saturday night, maybe you pay us off in sawdust.
9 million guys screaming for work, and we pick you hobos out of the gutter. And you don't trust us.
Take it easy, Shorty. I'm going to stop at the bank and draw the cash for your wages. And you all come in and watch me get it.
Well, that's okay.
All right, pile in. Come on.
And you, remember when we get in that bank, don't try to sneak out with no samples.
I keep my money in this bank because there's always 2 cops on duty with machine guns. But nobody knows where they're hiding.
Good morning.
Good morning. That's the stuff, buddy. And you stay right where you are. Shorty, you stay here. I'm going to see about the grub and keep the boys together.
Okay, we'll be here.
Pardon me. Mr. Parker.
Be quiet. We're being held up. See those gangsters? The big one's got a machine gun under his coat. I saw it. Don't move, he'll shoot.
Who's moving? Please, hadn't I better answer the phone?
Mister, it's your phone.
But aren't you sticking up the bank?
Mister, we're just waiting for the boss to come back to take us to work.
Hey, what's more?
What is this? What's the matter with that? Hands up!
Attention all state police. A robbery, the Midland Farmers Bank at Logansville, by a lone bandit who escaped in a late model truck, license M as in Mary, 4021. Black and white stake body, the name M. Grady on the side. Special attention, District Office, Bureau of Investigation, Wilson.
Just in time, Mr. Craig. This wire just came from Washington. The FBI files don't reveal any previous robbery with this technique. Means a newcomer did this job, huh?
No, I just left the bank teller. This bank robber's an old friend of mine, and dumb. A man can plan to hide his identity perfectly and then unconsciously speak 3 words that are as good as a fingerprint. This hoodlum forgot himself when he said to the bank teller, "That's the stuff."
That's the stuff. Stuff Nelson?
Martin Stuff Nelson. Named for that pet phrase he always uses. Chief, he never dreamed we'd identify him as having done this job. But unknowingly, he signed his name to it. And this time when we get our hands on him, we've got those 12 laborers as witnesses.
10 witnesses is all. 2 of them got away. And then a little guy called Shorty beat up 2 of my boys and hit me over the head with my own handcuffs.
Well, 10 witnesses will be plenty.
Well, since Nelson's your baby, what signpost do we follow?
Well, first, Nelson has a young son, and he can't stay away from him very long. Second, a blonde, with more curves than the road up Pike's Peak. One like that will be around Nelson, and she won't be his daughter.
Well, of course, my husband did say, must you have your skirts so short they show all your legs? So I said, them that has them shows them.
Right you are, Mrs. Jackson. Do you eat a pound of chocolate marshmallows every day?
Why not? Oh, don't worry. I'm one girl who can eat all the candy I want and still wear a mean sweater. Look, 110 pounds.
And every ounce what'll do the most good.
Oh, I do all right for a girl who didn't finish high school.
Excuse me, ladies. Mrs. Jackson, I'm Mrs. Haskell's son. I met you at dinner last night, remember?
Yes, I remember. Is anything wrong? I mean with your mother.
It's her coat, her fur coat.
Oh, you mean her fur coat?
That's right. Mother lends you her fur coat, then sends me after it. She's always doing something like that.
I'm sorry to put you to all this trouble.
Oh, no trouble, Mrs. Jackson, because this coat's so conspicuous. Nobody would have any trouble finding you.
Oh, I think I'll go give that woman a piece of my mind.
It sure was an awful nice coat.
You call that a nice coat? When I get to New York, I'm going to buy a better one than that just to peel potatoes in. Now, Mrs. Haskell's son, where's my silver fox coat?
I put it where it belongs, and you're lucky I didn't burn it. Julie, my father told you not to make yourself conspicuous. So you not only leave the hotel, but you have to go parading around this little town in a $1,000 fur coat.
Conspicuous? If I'd wanted to be conspicuous, I'd have worn a leopard coat with a neon sign on the back.
Yeah, and the sign would say, "Attention, G-men. I'm Stuff Nelson's girl. Watch me. Stuff ain't far off."
It doesn't matter what I wear. People'd notice me if I only wore cellophane.
Okay, you can't argue with a blonde. But you'll talk out of the other side of your mouth when Stuff hears about this.
Fine, tell him. All right. What do I have to do to keep you from telling Stuff?
Just tell him yourself. Stuff's got to know everything, so if there's any grief in it, he can hide his tracks.
Okay, kid, I'll tell him. If I can't make him like it, I don't know who can.
Hey. Mrs. Jackson, sweet. Thank you very much, sir. Mrs. Jackson, those gardenias you ordered will be delivered at 6 o'clock.
Was it really Stuff talking?
No, some grapevine fella.
I don't like this grapevine business. Always some total stranger bringing information that's personal and almost sacred to a girl.
It's gotta be total strangers. People that don't know Stuff. They get a cash handout, they don't know what dope they're bringing. If they want to live, they don't talk. But the point is, Stuff will be here at 6.
Mm-hmm. $7.25. I got butterflies. I'm gonna have a cigarette. He must have knocked off the bank, all right, or he wouldn't have sent word he was on his way here. Roosty, you don't think this is it? This is the time they caught up with Stuff.
Shut up! I'm sorry, Julie. Only 7:30 and Stuff said 6. Stuff is a guy that moves by the clock. Maybe we better beat it out of here and find a new hideaway.
And what about Stuff?
That's the idea, Fuzzbrain. And we tune in on the grapevine and see how to help him.
How are you, Roosty?
Stuff.
Are you all right?
Sure.
That's the stuff.
What happened? Did you get in a scrape poking up the bank?
People that run banks are saps. I was 10 miles away in the truck before they even found out the bank was robbed.
But you're late, and I was so worried.
Were you, kid?
Why don't I just go home? I haven't put on a pound. I still use the same perfume. My lipstick won't rub off. What do you think I am? A duck?
What do you suppose I was thinking about, breaking my neck trying to get here tonight?
Me? And a new fur coat put together.
You sleep in fur coats?
I know a girl who has an ermine bedspread.
Roosty, I give up.
I think I better tell you I kind of got out of step today.
I might have known it. Come on, tell me.
Well, it wasn't nothing but me going down to the village in my silver fox.
Nothing, you poor blind nitwit. Nothing but handing your photograph to every yokel in that two-bit town.
Stuff. Nobody saw but a dame in a candy store. And she's got no more brains than Julie.
That's right, Stuff.
Maybe. But the next time you try to pull any of your cute little tricks that'll steer the G-men our way, I'm just telling you, that's all. Now get your things on. You're driving straight to New York as we planned.
Why can't I wait and go with you?
Because Roosty and I got things to do. It'll be tough enough covering us without having you around as a signpost.
But I can't drive all the way to New York alone in my car. I wouldn't be safe.
You'll be safe enough if you want to be. I found that out.
That's right. Insult me.
You're a cute kid, and I'm crazy about you.
Are you really crazy about me, Stuff?
There's $1,000. Now, what do you think?
I think what you think.
I'll get the kind of a flat I told you. Keep the car handy. You'll hear from us by the 15th.
I'll be a good girl, Stuff.
You better be. Now get your traveling lipstick on. Come on. Well, good looking. Now that I got you to myself, what would you rather do than anything in the world?
Stuff. You didn't find a place where I can take flying lessons.
Yeah, a place over the hills run by a right guy who knows his vegetables.
Gee, that's swell, Dad.
And he must be good, too, because he flies a couple of load of Chinamen over the Canadian border every month.
Stuff, you got 'em all beat.
Yeah, what's all this big noise about? Hey, you spout anybody that can't fly a plane is practically lower than a pickpocket, huh?
All kids are crazy to fly.
Why, sure, when I was your age, any kid that could drive a car was king of the gang.
Repeat broadcast, statewide alarm, all state and city police. The robber who held up the bank at Logansville this morning is believed to be the subject of FBI wanted notice number 3716. This man is armed and desperate.
Why, the G-men don't even know it was you.
A new scheme for every job. That's why they can't catch up with me. Get behind the door, son. Hi, Jay. Hello, Van. Everything under control?
Well, I brought us here okay, didn't I?
Sure. 10 of those guys really being square, Johns, made it a pushover. Stuffed that shorty guy sure was sold. He swore he worked for you in Oregon, and you still owed him $2 for laundry.
Brains, my boy, brains.
When we're through telling jokes, how much do-re meat did you knock over?
7,800.
Well, far be it from me, but the Logansville paper said it was over 10 grand.
I said 7,800.
Okay. Can you blame a guy for asking?
Hey, Stuff, have we got a date or have we?
You bet we have. That's the New York setup. I'll meet you there in 3 weeks.
Attention all state police, repeat broadcast, a stolen car, 1940 gray Cadillac convertible with white sidewall tires, taken from the Logansville Golf Club. Thief is the same man who robbed the bank at Logansville. He is a federal fugitive, armed and desperate. That is all.
It's smart, aren't they? That 1940 gray Cadillac is at the bottom of a pretty little valley. And before anybody finds it, you two gents be on about your business. And where will we be?
Oh, boy. Flying high, wide, and handsome.
Hey, Bernsey, isn't that kid up awful high?
Thanks, Nelson. The higher up, the more time to pick a spot if he gets in trouble upstairs.
You better not get into any trouble.
He's a natural-born flyer. And the guy he learned from is no chump. Well, we'll see if he can set it down.
If Roosty so much as scratches his little finger, I'll...
Come on down, Sonny. What's he aiming for? Transport license?
Nah, all kids are crazy about flying. With me, when I was young, it was driving a car.
You gonna take him in your line with you?
Wrong again, Bernsey. I figured to buy him a cool gambling spot out west where people are broad-minded.
Make a gentleman of him.
Look, you sure he's all right?
Watch. Nice work, son.
What's that company coming? Start him off. I want to find out if he's got a badge, even if he isn't wearing it.
Good morning, brother.
Morning.
What does a poor sick old lady have to do around here to earn herself a cup of coffee?
She has to pour it out of the pot.
Good enough. Looks like good coffee.
Thanks. I used to hit the road myself.
Yeah? Hi-ho. Wish I had a beautiful blonde.
They just passed a law. It's illegal to wish for blondes on Friday.
Well, just the same. I wish I had a beautiful blonde in New York City. And a nice expensive store all picked out for her to spend her money in.
Buy yourself another cup of coffee.
Thanks, brother. Coffee's a little weak. Mister, I got such a bad memory, in 10 minutes, I won't even know I was here.
Grapevine, hey?
He don't know it, but the minute he said blonde in New York, he tipped me off to a message I've been waiting for.
Stuff! Stuff, did you see me? Were you looking? A three-point landing. You couldn't have done any better yourself.
Well, what do you want me to do? Give you these fancy pants?
You happy now, son?
If I never have any more fun for the rest of my life, I'm even.
You and me both. And that's just fine. Now, everything is ready and waiting in New York, and that means serious business. Okay, kid, the works. What are you flinching for? Those bullets are going away from you. And you're canting the gun. Hold it level like this, and put your thumb there to steady it. And another thing, you don't pull a trigger, you squeeze it. Now, go ahead. That's the stuff. I think we better get these things cleaned up, eh? And another thing, never throw a gun at a guy unless you mean to use it. I never let a guy get closer than 4 paces. If he keeps coming, you let him have it.
You bet, Stuff.
You know, Roosty, if Coney and the boys case the right job, it may be the big knockover I've been waiting for.
You mean and quit?
Well, why not? Every ordinary working stiff saves his nickels and his dimes for a little front porch and a rocking chair. Now, in my business, what are you grinning for? My racket is a business, and I got a big stake in it, including a 9-year jolt I spent in stir. But that's part of the overhead. Wait a minute, let me take a look at that. You call that clean? You gotta do better than that. Look, kid. My life depends on little Johnny Roscoe here. He's got to take care of me, so I got to take care of him. Always remember that. If you don't, when you start using one of these things, you can't last.
I'll remember, Stuff.
That's the kid. Now get busy. You know, it's the same as any other kind of business. It's got rules. Never tag along after anybody. Figure things out for yourself. Be tops, be different, like me.
That's why you're the best.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't agree with me. Of course, everybody is entitled to their own opinions. But me, I say don't trust anybody.
Yeah, you told me that before.
Well, why do you think I keep on telling you? Because you're Stuff Nelson's kid. Because you're my boy. Don't ever let anybody get next to you. Because they're all against you like they are me. And it's you against them. Don't forget that.
I never will.
Good. What kind of a car would you like to ride into New York?
How about a snappy roadster?
No, there's no doubt about it. Mrs. Julie Jackson is the only luscious blonde female in New York City who's bought chocolate marshmallows 4 times in 1 week. So the lady who lives across the street is Stuff Nelson's girl.
I wonder if my wife ate chocolate marshmallows. Would she get a streamlined chassis like that?
Keep your mind on your work, young man. What did I tell you? There's Nelson's son now.
It's about time we got a break.
All set?
Okay.
Oh, hello. Where's Stuff? Why didn't he come? Is anything wrong?
Stuff is in special extra condition. Everything's under control. And Julie, I can fly a plane.
You can? Say, I could do all right as one of those air hostesses myself. Only they don't wear evening gowns.
Now listen, Stuff is here in New York. We've got to meet him at the river joint tonight. So pack your bags.
This is Burkhardt, the Nelson stakeout. We just spotted this kid and we're picking him up. Nelson's in town, so he's sure to pull a job. Tell the guys at 60th to be ready for a signal 30.
Sergeant, spot a couple of your other boys here to stay on the blonde. I'm separating her and the boy. That'll give us 2 sets of tracks pointing to Stuff Nelson.
What kind of a place is this river joint? Shall I take along a bathing suit?
Clothes is all you can think about.
Well, how are you?
What right you got coming in my sister's flat?
You're Stuff Nelson's boy, aren't you, son?
My name is Harold Hutchinson. I'm a junior in high school.
I see, and you had this picture taken for the annual yearbook.
Federal Bureau of... You know, I thought of being a G-man once. Of course, only when I was a kid.
Take the lady in the other room, Sergeant, please.
I'm very comfortable right here.
So, you want to rest?
Huh?
Look, mister, that's me in that picture, all right. But this other guy's just somebody I met last summer on a fishing trip.
Roosty, if you tell us where Stuff's going to work, perhaps nobody will get hurt.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Send out a special alarm to all banks to double their guards. A Nelson job. Take no chances. Get him.
So you blast stuff out without giving him a chance.
You're forcing us to.
I'm not. I don't know what you're talking about.
You just told Julie Stuff is doing a job. Now, where's that job?
I don't know, I tell you.
You do, and remember, it's your father.
It's a bank. I forget the name. I think it's on a corner. 84th and Broadway, or maybe it's 83rd. I don't know just what corner. I'll know it when I see it.
There are no banks on those corners.
Might be the 3rd National on 87th.
Yeah, that's it.
What time is Nelson going to knock it off?
Stuff told the other guys 1:45.
Come on, son, it's almost that now.
Tell Captain Harvard it's the 3rd National on 87th Street.
We're all set, Captain Harvard. Now remember, Stuff Nelson shot his way out of spots like this before. He makes one break, your men start shooting.
Okay, sir.
Five in that car, 4 in the other. You said 6 planted in the bank, and you 4 guys makes 19. Didn't you forget the Marines?
147. Stuff said 145?
Yeah, it's funny. Stuff moves by the clock, so your watch must be wrong.
9th Precinct, at the bank. 29th and Madison. A signal 30 now in progress. These men are heavily armed. Cars 1042, 1068, the time,
Step out and buck.
1471 half.
You weren't sure which bank it was. So you sent us up here to give Nelson a clear field at 29th and Madison.
You got nothing on me. This is the bank I thought it was. Is it my fault I haven't got a good memory?
Friend of yours, Roosty?
I never saw him before in my life.
You have got a bad memory. This used to be Johnny Van Brook, a nice, harmless lug from Oklahoma till he met up with your father.
Shut up about my father.
Beat it, kid. Nelson and 2 others got away. Kill that young idiot. He'll lead us to Stuff Nelson yet.
Snap out of it. If Stuff got away, he must be all right.
We'll know in a couple minutes. Whoa. See that hat on the fence post? That's my high sign. We turn here.
They made a turn.
Stick with them.
Right.
Kill your lights. Wait here while I take a look around.
Oh, Stuff, I thought we'd never get here.
Tell me, Roosty, are you all right?
Are you all right, Stuff?
Sure, don't worry about me. Tell me what happened.
The feds had me for a while, but all they got was the old stallaroo.
So they let you go.
Yeah, they let me go when we got to 29th and Madison and saw Van.
Sure, Van. And why did Van end up on the sidewalk? Because he was a comical guy and would rather crack jokes than work at his racket. So the bank guard beat him to the trigger. Well, that's the last I ever want to hear about him or this whole business. It didn't come off, so we'll charge it to profit and loss.
Isn't anybody going to admire my new lipstick?
Well, if I don't like the taste, will you change the flavor?
Stuff, couple of visitors.
Oh, you followed me, huh?
I figured somebody might, so I arranged a little reception committee. Take a walk for yourself, kid. You too, Julie. Come on, get out. You've only got yourself to blame for this, copper.
It isn't every father that'd let his son learn how to fly a plane, is it, Julie?
So Mr. Martin Stuff Nelson killed Brock and a harmless cab driver. Here's the latest information on him. He slipped across the Pennsylvania line, so we'll be working out of the Pittsburgh office till we get him. And I'm going to get him and hang him if I have to dig him up out of his grave and put the noose around his corpse.
Julie. Oh, wait a minute. Julie, I'm just as sick of tin can banquets as you are. But don't you try to cook, please. Not even an egg, because you're not the type.
Me cook? I just as soon lay an egg as cook one. I'm trying to whip myself up some chocolate candy.
Give me that here.
Oh, well, I've got 3 fur coats and my brother's out of Sing Sing. I guess a girl can't have everything.
Don't worry. We won't be here long. There hasn't been a rumble on the radio for days. I guess the heat's off. As soon as Roosty comes back with the grub, I'll call in the boys and we'll figure on pulling out of here tonight for Denver.
Denver?
Sure. One big touch. We'll buy Roosty a nice chunk of some high-class racket, and then you and me will ride the gravy train good and proper.
Denver. I wonder, do they have any nice fur stores in Denver?
A truckload of groceries for $3.65. And in town it'd cost you a fortune. Boy, there's a sweet little racket in this food business somewhere.
See anybody in the store?
No, nobody. Nobody except a yokel salesman.
What'd he look like?
Oh, one of them talky guys that makes the jerk towns peddling soap. Look, he gave me this.
Did he ask you any questions?
Sure. He'd rather shoot off his mouth than work. I skipped rope for him, though. I gave him a story about us being here fishing.
Fishing?
Yeah, I told him I'd caught a 15-pound mackerel.
Isn't mackerel a saltwater fish?
Oh.
Well, don't they only catch mackerel in the ocean?
What do you know about fish?
What do I know about fish? Didn't I start as a shoplifter in Atlantic City, and that's where they grow fish?
Wait. Hey, Gunny. Yeah? Is there any fishing of any kind in this neck of the woods?
Around here, they're 12 miles from a can of sardines.
Grab the junk. We're getting out of here.
Nelson! Pep Nelson!
You take the kitchen. You get in the back. Get up in the corner there, kid. You too, Julie. Quick.
All right, Nelson. Toss your guns out the window and save yourself a lot of trouble.
It was all my fault, Julie. It wasn't stuff. It was all me.
Oh, never mind, kid. If it hadn't been a mackerel, it would have been a fur coat. Sit down, you dumb lug. Maybe it was my fur coat.
Julie!
They must have traced us from the candy store that day. That's what I call taking advantage. Oh, lady.
Julie! Stop!
What chance have we got? The shot's made of paper! Get back to your gun, you yellow quitter. I can't hold him alone. You can die if you want to, but I'm going to give up. Don't you open that door. I'm going out and take 10 years. I always knew you'd turn skunk.
Stop! What do we do?
Get the car started.
What about you?
Never mind me. Go on.
I won't do it, Stuff. I won't do it. I won't run.
You heard me.
No!
Go on, get in the car. Get going.
Not without you, I won't.
Can't be more than one of them left. Come on, Nelson!
Get a man in there close with tear gas.
Remember now, turn right and through the gully.
Guess they're all dead now. Close in.
Have the inside yet?
No.
Well, we can make it, kid. Now remember, you write to me, Kiddo Joseph Miller, box number 42. Broad Street Annex, New York. That's the grapevine. I'll get the message. They won't trace the letter to me. Let me know what newspaper you're reading. I'll come after you no matter where you are.
Dad, you'll be all right, won't you?
Go on, beat it. And don't buy any loaded dice. Go on.
So long, Stuff.
Where's Nelson? There's blood all over here. Where'd you drop him, kid?
Who, Stuff? Well, he beat it for Chicago last night.
All right, search back along both sides of the road and watch for a blood trail leading away. And remember, Nelson knows we can only hang him once. Okay. All right, son, there's a place that's been waiting for you. Now they're going to get you. Come on.
Well, young man, during your 4 weeks in the reform school, you seem to have done quite a lot to brighten up the place.
I didn't do anything.
They seem to think that it was you who short-circuited the school electrical system, thereby setting fire to the kitchen and nearly drowning the cook in clam chowder.
It wasn't me. I was framed.
And I suppose you're innocent of the further charge that you introduced into the ventilating system a device technically known as a stink bomb?
Because I was a new kid in reform school, they blamed everything on me.
Furthermore, on 11 different occasions, you were caught trying to smuggle messages out of the institution.
Sure I did. They won't tell me anything about my father. They won't even let me know whether he's alive or dead.
Russell Nelson, it is the policy of this state to make every effort to rehabilitate any boy who has obviously had a bad start in life. I'm going to send you to a farm.
On a farm?
Is Mr. Edward McCormick in this court?
I'm Edward McCormick, Your Honor. Hello there, son.
Mr. McCormick, you've agreed to take this boy.
I'll be very glad to, Your Honor.
Russell Nelson, I place you on parole and in the custody of Mr. McCormick. until such time as you violate that parole, or until we feel you can be returned to society. Court will recess for 5 minutes.
All right, Hick. Let's go.
It's all done, Mr. Craig. Thank you, sir. Now we'll just hope that the live bait brings Nelson in.
How do you know Nelson's alive?
We don't know. But we would know if he were dead.
I see. But is this quite fair to that young farmer?
Ask the farmer. Nelson's worth $7,500, dead or alive. And FBI men don't take rewards.
Which makes young McCormick a pretty smart farmer.
How much farther we gotta go?
About 80 or 90 miles.
Won't they be surprised when we get there and tell them the election's over and Coolidge ain't president anymore?
You no bargain to me either, kid.
No? Think of all the fun you're gonna have saving my immortal soul.
Maybe you don't know why I took you on.
Sure, so I'd forget my bad start in life and learn never to say naughty words in front of a preacher.
Also, the state pays me $22.50 a month for my trouble.
What? You're taking this rap just for the dough that's in it? And chicken feed at that.
Right now, $22.50 a month in cash is the difference between keeping the farm and losing it.
That's getting money the hard way. Well, you better hurry, Hick. Any farm you can save for $22.50 is gonna be awful hard to find when it gets dark.
Here we are, son. I'll show you your room.
What are you whispering for? You married?
Shh. No, my mother lives with me. She's asleep.
Sleep at 9 o'clock? What's the matter? Is she sick?
Oh, she's up early. When you have to get up at 5, you get sleepy before 9.
Who's gonna get up at 5?
You are.
Not for any 10-cent corn-fed farmer, I won't.
You don't think much of farmers, do you? Well, let me tell you something about the farmer. This is a big, hungry world. And from Joseph over Egypt to democracy over America, the human race has never been more than 30 months ahead of starvation. So you figure out where everybody'd be without the farmer. Good night, son.
Good night, Hick. Hey, mister, will you give a lift to the guy on his way to join the Navy? Oh, I beg your pardon, miss.
Hop in.
Oh, thanks. Lady, you're sure a lifesaver. I've been tramping this road for 15 minutes and haven't seen a headlight yet.
You look a little young to join the Navy.
Oh, our whole family's like that. Why, last November, my dad looked so young, they almost wouldn't let him vote.
What's he thinking of, letting you wander around the country like this?
Oh, I'm doing it to spite him. He wants to send me to Annapolis to become an officer, but I want to get in the fighting right away.
Oh, running away from home.
Yeah. Dad's in Florida in his yacht, so I borrowed $20 from the butler and got this far. This, Sinton City. Is there a railroad station there?
No, but there's a bus stop, and we take the next turn for it.
Gee, miss, I hope I'm not taking you out of your way.
Oh, I'm going there anyway. You see, I'm running away from home, too.
Yeah? From your father? Or maybe from your husband?
No, from a rich old man they want me to marry.
You don't want to marry a rich guy? Gee, you're a funny dame.
I guess I'm just like you. I want to live my own life.
Gosh, imagine a couple of people like us running into each other out here among the potatoes.
Yes, imagine it. I think we're coming to the bus station now. Hello, Ed. This little boy was lost, so I brought him back before he got into trouble.
What is this?
Come on, Roosty. I know you're all worn out, so I'll help you up to bed myself. Thanks a lot for your trouble, Catherine.
No trouble. He wasn't on the turnpike, so I knew he was headed for Simpson City. Well, aren't you going to kiss me?
I was waiting for you to ask me.
Tomorrow night?
Okay.
Bring the boy?
All right. Good night, dear.
Who is that?
That's the girl I'm engaged to marry.
But what about the rich old guy her father wanted to marry?
Her father? Oh, her father's name is Pete Logan. He's been dead for 15 years.
But who does she think she is, giving me a line like that?
She's just a little country school teacher.
School teacher? And making a sap out of me.
Oh, no. She was merely keeping you entertained while she brought you back. You see, her place is on the county road, so I phoned her to look out for you while I was getting dressed. Come on, Hick. Let's go to bed. Come on, get up, son.
Go away. It's the middle of the night.
Well, I can't make you get up, but I can carry you down and drop you in the water trough.
Keep your shirt on. I'll get up. I just discovered I'm hungry.
That's better. Oh, this is your first day here, so you don't have to do anything before breakfast except feed the chickens.
Huh? Hey, about last night, that dame wasn't so smart. She knew who I was.
Nobody around here knows anything about you, except that you're a kid from the city without any home. I told them you were an orphan.
An orphan? Well, maybe that's better. Not that I'm ashamed of my old man. I'm darn proud of him. But all you yokels are cops at heart.
Oh, I don't know. Some of us run away from rich old men. Well, I don't know how you're going to get along with this boy. He's a city kid and tough.
Ed, they invented all the different kinds of human cussedness back in the Garden of Eden. That was before cities.
You think you can handle him?
Didn't I once tackle a 300-pound she-bear with an axe? To keep you from losing this farmer could handle a gorilla.
Now I'm beginning to worry about the boy.
Oh, hello, Mrs. McCormick.
Welcome, son. Well, we'll have to put a little meat on these ribs.
I looked all around upstairs for a place to wash. Then I remembered about farms. You have to go out and wash at the pump. That's not so tough.
Well, in the old days, Ed's grandfather had to wash one eye at a time, so he could look out for the Indians with the other. There's the basin, son. Help yourself.
Oh, thank you. I'm not used to being treated so nice. I suppose Ed told you that I'm an orphan.
Yes, I know all about it, son. I've been an orphan myself since I was 50.
It's me, Roosty.
What's the matter?
I was just attacked by an eagle.
An eagle?
A great big wild eagle.
That's only a gander.
A gander? What's a gander?
It's the goose's husband.
You mean to say that ugly-looking wild animal is only a goose?
Yes, that's Charlie, boss of the barnyard. You must have frightened him.
Me frighten him? I was innocently washing my hands and he comes up and attacks me.
Oh, he'll soon get used to you. You go and finish washing. And here, dump this mash in that trough out there for the chickens, will you?
All right, ma'am. To you.
Oh, take off that shirt. What'd you do this time?
Nothing. I was bending down to give the stuff to the chickens and that crazy eagle jumps me.
That's it. Every time you bend over, Charlie thinks you're picking up something to throw at him.
Nice going being a farmer. The world is starving, but you can't turn your back on a long-necked duck.
Here's Ed's shirt. Put it on and I'll get you some breakfast. Come and have your breakfast, son.
It's funny, but I imagine I heard somebody shooting off a gun a while ago.
That was Ed. It's a chicken hawk. He's been trying to shoot it for 3 days.
Oh, I just wondered.
Chicken hawks, eagles. You'll have lots to write to your folks about. I mean, your friends.
Say, you mean it's okay for me to write to my friends in the city?
Of course, whenever you want to.
Eat whenever you want to?
No, write letters whenever he wants to. Why shouldn't he?
No reason at all. You'll probably need something to do after dark. Hey, we're due to call on a lady. How long does it take you to change your clothes?
I'm coming. As soon as I button my shirt. I'll stay here.
No, come on in.
And it wasn't to get me in Miss Logan's school that you brought me along. You just don't want to let me out of your sight.
Look, kid, you're going to be around here for quite a spell, see? So I'm trying to treat you like a human being if you'll let me. So why don't you give in? Come on, meet some swell people. Catherine's grandpappy's a great old guy. And her kid's sister.
Okay. But if that Logan dame starts ribbing me about the Navy, look out.
They ain't even good half-wits. Not one of them. You put their brains in a peanut shell, they'd rattle around like castanets.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Ed.
Hello, Ed.
Hello, honey.
Hi there, sailor.
Sailor.
Oh, that's just a little private joke we had last night.
Yeah.
My grandfather, Mr. Logan.
How do?
How do you do, sir?
And my sister, Anne.
Hello.
Hi.
I don't believe he told me his name.
Oh, Russell Nelson.
Well, Russell's the boy who's come to work for Ed.
Most people call me Roosty.
Roosty. Well, now, look here, Roosty. You want to be careful how you joke with my granddaughter. Even I'm lucky if I get an even break with her.
Is that what you were complaining about when we came in?
No, Dad Rabbit, they won't let me join the flying corps.
Flying corps? Can you fly?
No, that's just the trouble. They won't let me learn.
I can fly, Mr. Logan.
Yeah, you see, even a child can do it. I'll bet you I could learn it in 10 minutes. I got a good mind to build me a glider. Sit down, son. We'll talk it over.
Then Ed and I will go count our chickens before they're hatched.
Anne, you keep those two on the ground.
By gosh, times certainly do change. Just think, I'm sitting here talking to a young fella that can actually fly. Now, when my daddy was your age, he shot an Indian right here on this land. Not that I'm proud about what us white folks done to the Indian, but in them days, a man with a rifle in his hands was about the only law there was in these parts.
Yeah. Sometimes the law is pretty silly.
Well, of course, that's the only time it's right to use a gun against your fellow man. In defense of your folks or your fireside. All your neighbors if they happen to need help. Well, now that we know all there is to know about flying, I want you to answer me one question.
Well, if it's about flying, I'm pretty sure I can.
Between the two of us, just what is it keeps them dad-ratted planes up in the air?
And outside of the cattle needing a little more mash, the place seems to be in pretty good shape.
I knew it was. I wanted to talk to you. Grandpop raised Cain with a school board again today. No soap. They still say that if a school teacher gets married, she doesn't get her $85 a month.
Hey, wait a minute. You're not holding up this wedding. I am.
Oh, mister, won't you please marry me tonight? Of course, we can just send Grandpop to the county poor farm. And Anne, oh, she's easy. We just get her a tin cup and let her beg in the streets of Chicago.
Don't decide anything for a few minutes, will you? Maybe something will turn up. I mean this fall. Maybe I'll get that formula for seed corn and sell it for $1 million.
$2 million, if you say so. Oh, you ought to teach your friend better manners.
Hey, easy, Jenny. Say, when are you going to send this mare to the veterinary? That tooth isn't getting any better.
We're planning to budget Jenny out of next month's salary. This month's has got to go to taxes.
Yeah, I know. Beat it, Jenny. Well, all we got to do is catch that tooth in time, and you got 10 more years of good horse. Say, open your mouth.
Open my mouth.
Open your mouth. Well, that's one thing I won't have to worry about anyway.
Worry? I'll have you know my teeth are perfect.
That's fine. Practically every man I know, as soon as he gets married, his wife has to have her teeth fixed.
Hey, Ed! Catherine, where are you? Come a-running. Say, Catherine, didn't you put your money in that desk drawer?
Certainly. Isn't it there?
Well, then somebody's robbed the house. It's gone.
Gone?
Wait a minute. Let's see what could have happened.
I went out to get some cider.
And I was in the kitchen getting the glasses.
I told Roosy to bring in some wood for the stove.
That's right.
That left the room empty. One of them tramps must have sneaked in and stole Catherine's money. If he hadn't took my gun, too, I'd go after him and blow his head off.
Took your gun, too?
Yeah. Dad ratted Ann, you was right.
Now, 3 minutes ago, I said if he left that gun around loose, some hobo would find it and shoot us all.
Well, I'll have a look around the place. Maybe he hasn't gotten away yet.
Wait, I'll go with you. Ed, if you go over there, I'll look over here.
Right.
I thought you were looking over there.
Give me the gun and the money.
Gun, money? You don't think I took them? Well, search me if you think so.
I know you took them.
Quick!
Planning to run away, huh? And a gun and some money would help, wouldn't it?
I wasn't trying to run away. I've been thinking ever since last night. If I break loose from here and I get caught, they'll have me for 5 more years. I only figured to keep this dough to get a new start when I'm off the cuff. Honest, Mr. McCormick.
And the gun to get more with, huh?
Well, I guess this puts me back in reform school.
No, you little fool. You mean $22.50 a month to me.
But how are you going to cover it up?
Tell them I did it for a joke.
Oh, they won't believe you. They'll right away think I stole them.
They might think Stuff Nelson's son did. But here you're my hired boy with a good home, nothing to worry about. So you don't have to steal. And these hicks wouldn't believe you'd want to.
They wouldn't?
You still think the whole world's against you, don't you, kid? Well, yours may be, but ours isn't. Now, you're pretty bright. Play up when I spring the gag on Grandpa.
All right. But if he falls for it, I'm crazy.
Caught the dad-blamed robber, I'll bet. Where'd you leave his body?
We didn't see anybody, Mr. Logan. Maybe you kind of imagined the whole thing.
Look here. The money's right here in the drawer. And the gun, too.
Well, what do you know?
I got tired of warning you not to leave a loaded gun around where somebody might do some harm with it. I schemed with Roosty to sneak it. And the money.
You know, that's the first time anybody's made a fool of me since that gal was here with the circus 48 years ago.
Now the county will get its taxes.
I'm sorry if we worried you. Say, Ed, would you mind if I went down the county road for a minute? I got something I want to do.
Sure. You'll be back, won't you?
Yeah, I'll be back.
Well, Ann, we never did get that cider, did we?
Oh, I forgot.
That's a pretty smart way of getting out of an awkward situation, Ed.
What was awkward about it?
Oh, stop hocus-pocusing around, Ed McCormick. I'm not going to blame any poor orphan that don't know any better.
Well, I guess he was just going to use the money to try and get back to his friends.
Well, he's going to have plenty of friends here, and I'm going to be head man among them. What do you suppose I was sounding off about them airplanes for? Didn't Catherine tell me last night he was so lonesome he tried to run away?
He'll get to like it here, if we help him.
Sure. City people dream about coming to the country. Country people squawk about wanting to go and live in the city. And they're both right. Except the country people who want to go to the cities are all crazy.
boy's letter was picked up this morning at the Broad Street Annex by a man. We saw him seal it in another envelope. Then we followed him and...
I know, but he didn't lead you to Nelson, and somehow he got rid of the letter.
Well, we figured he must have dropped it in some postbox without us seeing him.
No harm done. We wanted Nelson to have that letter. Now what we've got to do is check the Indianapolis Herald every day. That's all, George.
Yes.
Oh, no, you don't, Charlie. Beat it. Go on, beat it.
Ed, I won the debating contest today in school.
Oh, that's great, Roosty. Guess Miss Logan's pretty proud of you, huh?
Oh, I told her the credit's all due to Ann. Ann ribbed me into entering, and then she rehearsed me pretty nearly every day after school.
So that's where you've been the past few weeks. Dan.
What's wrong with that? She's awful bright for a 16-year-old.
Yeah, she's 16. But, Roosty, in some ways, you're a lot older than 16. A lot older and a lot wiser. Now, I'm the only one who knows that. Everyone else thinks you're just 16.
Meaning what?
Ann.
I don't know what you're talking about.
If you don't, let's forget the whole business.
You got a nerve.
Now, take it easy. How about changing your clothes and give me a hand with the corn?
Miss Logan says I gotta study my lessons.
Miss Logan didn't mean for you to skip your work. We're farmers in the daytime and study at night.
You can't make me work, you hick.
No, I can't make you work. But I can give you an awful lot of hard luck if you don't.
I wish I had you in the city for about 5 minutes.
Now, you get those clothes on, and fast.
Hello, son.
Hello.
Kind of down the mouth, huh? You must have had spelling today. All right. Suppose you did spell a word some way the dictionary says is wrong. That's only one man's opinion.
Did the Indianapolis Herald come yet?
You city folks certainly set store by your newspapers. There. It was late on account of the holiday.
Oh, I wasn't really worrying about it. I just like to keep up with the latest news.
Me too. You know, sometimes I can hardly wait till I see what happens to Flash Gordon.
These are the best cookies I ever ate.
You kind of like it a little better here in the country now, don't you, Roosty?
Maybe I'm just beginning to appreciate the country.
I'm glad to hear you say that. You know, for the first couple of weeks, I was afraid Ed was going to have to send you back to the orphan asylum.
But no longer, Mrs. McCormick. Gee, I better change my clothes and help Ed with the corn. I sure don't want to do anything that'll keep me from staying right here.
If you don't stop calling me Mrs. McCormick, I'm going to be calling you Mr. Nelson.
Well, thank you. You know what I'm going to do with these 3 rows, Roosty? I'm going to crossbreed some corn I've been working on for 4 years.
Oh, like they breed horses to run faster. You want the corn to grow quicker, huh?
No, I'm trying to grow corn that will withstand the disease and insects and drought that send farmers to the poorhouse. Now, this fall, when the corn is shoulder high, we'll tie a paper bag over each one of these tassels to collect the pollen. Then I'll use that to pollinate this row and this row. You understand?
Clear as mud.
Well, here's a racehorse. It can run like mad, but it can't take punishment. So here's another racehorse. It can take plenty of punishment, has a fighting heart, but it can't run for sour apples. So I breed the 2 together, and what do I get?
The Kentucky Derby.
Right. If I'm lucky, I get corn that's fine and full and strong. Grow more bushels to the acre. I can sell that kind of corn for $10 a bushel as seed. You know, there was a fellow out in Illinois worked out a crossbreed for corn. Took in $35,000 the first year. And I'll tell you something else he did, son. He put $10 million in the pockets of farmers that otherwise wouldn't have been there.
Gee, some racket.
You get after those weeds. I'm going down to the tractor. See you at supper.
You watch me. I'm a weed killer from way back.
All over your mad, son?
I said I was sorry, didn't I? I'll say something else. You ain't a bad guy at all. For a hick.
Apple pie for supper.
Oh, I fooled you that time, Mr. Regal. Now, I don't want to be trouble with you. Why don't you go on and mind your own business, whatever that is. I'm doing my work because I want to stay here in the country until I get ready to leave. But meanwhile, I love the country. I love farmers. Eagle, I even love you. You ain't a bad guy. You know, my father'd like you. You don't trust nobody. And you're right, because you don't know when some guy's going to take a crack at you. Now, get out of here before I tie a couple knots in your neck. Go on! Hi, Lucy! Hello! Oh, Ann?
Hello, Roosty. I drove over to help Ed with his accounts, and these two insisted on coming along to talk to you about some gigantic secret. I'll pick you up when I've finished with Ed's bookkeeping.
Well, young fella, how'd you like to join the flying corps when you're 19?
Flying corps? Me? You're kidding.
Kidding? Is the United States government kidding? You're a little bit underweight, but I'll fatten you up if I have to sit in your lap and shove fried chicken down your throat.
But Mr. Logan, maybe it isn't as simple as all that. It's Ed. Maybe I won't be here till I'm 19.
He don't know Ed like we do.
Most likely Ed's planning on you growing up with a farm.
I'd rather not count on something that maybe won't ever happen.
Maybe. Listen to him. He's an American, and he ain't an idiot or a criminal, and he says maybe he can be a flyer. Why, these new planes can make 1,600 miles an hour.
600, it said on the radio.
Well, that's today. I'm talking about tomorrow. Yes, sir. You're going to be a flyer. Next time the government man comes to Sinton City...
Government man here?
Mm-hmm. He's a high mucky-muck of the flying school. My 42nd cousin. I'm going to get him interested in you. And when he does, you'll practically be government property. What do you got to say to that?
I don't know what to say. Don't tell Ed about this.
And would you mind taking a little walk down the road? Roosty and I got a little man talk to get off our chest. Now, son, what's wrong?
It's just that I don't expect to stay in the country forever. I don't want to stay here any longer than I have to.
Oh, most city folks feel that way at first, but I kind of thought that you'd changed a little bit.
I've been brought up one way, and why should I be different because the people around here are different?
We're not different. Well, maybe farm people think a little bit different. You see, a farmer's got to think about a whole lot of things while he's working, or else he'd go crazy, doing the same things day in and day out all his life. So he kind of thinks his way clear through the fancy work of life down to the brass tacks of living. Now, nobody ever went very far wrong sticking to the brass tacks of life, such as earning your own living and not causing anybody any grief and living like the farmers that kept the world eating before you could buy your dinner in a dad-ratted tin can. I guess all that's pretty dumb to a young fellow that's thinking about a girl and a dance.
Dance? Me?
Yeah, I told Ann you was going to take her down to Sinton City. There's a dance at the town hall tonight. Here's $1 to show her the sights.
You think it's okay for me to take Ann out alone?
I can lick anybody says it ain't. Here. I knowed you was all right the first minute I set eyes on you. Says I, as soon as I can get the asphalt off his feet and the factory smoke out his eyes, he'll walk straight and see right as if he was my own grandson.
Thanks, Grandpop. Maybe I wish I was. I'm crazy about dancing, but I wonder if I can dance right for Sinton people.
By dad rat, you mean to tell me the rumba ain't reached the big cities yet?
How are you?
Hot.
Hey, what's the big idea of wanting to go over my accounts in the middle of the month?
Grandpop was listening when I phoned. I had to say something.
Anything worrying you?
Roosty.
Roosty?
Several weeks ago, he let something slip about his father having a certain new automobile. And then today after school, he was having an argument with one of the boys, and he said, "My father is." Then I remembered that fantastic incident about the missing money in Grandpop's gun. Better tell me, Ed.
Well, I've been worrying myself. Well, I guess I might as well tell you. Roosty isn't the homeless little orphan you think he is. He's the son of Stuff Nelson, the bank robber and murderer. Come on up to the house. I want to show you something. So now you see why I sent Ma over to Mrs. Glazer, so nobody'd know about this but you.
$7,500.
What am I gonna do?
Do?
Well, at first it seemed all right. Roosty had it coming to him. He was nothing but a vicious little brat from reform school.
Still feel that way?
Oh, now you can see that even kids like that are all right if you give them a chance. They're just like any other kids.
Especially if you get to like them.
Well, what's Roosty done you couldn't expect him to do? Sure, he's horsed us around a little so we'd keep him here. Same thing I've done to him so he'd stay. He's a lot better kid than he thinks he is, even if he is still loyal to his father. As far as that goes, who am I to say he shouldn't be?
How'd you get into this, Ed?
Oh, the reward. But not entirely. They put it up to me. What could I do? The government wants Nelson dead or alive before he puts any more innocent people in their graves.
But, Ed, what about you?
Oh, that's our ring.
A fine time for a phone call.
Hello?
Mr. McCormick, this is Craig.
Oh, yes, Mr. Craig. How are you?
Fine, how are you? That gentleman you're expecting will be in your neighborhood on the 22nd, but don't worry. I've arranged to transfer him to another territory before he gets a chance to bother you. Nothing to talk over, just don't do anything. We're handling it. And this time we don't count on missing him.
I don't like to criticize, kid, but if you don't tie the bag tighter, the pollen will get out and ruin a whole year's work.
Nobody can tie him any tighter than I'm doing.
Crop duster's coming today, Roosty. But I can talk him into giving you a ride in his plane.
Thanks. That'll be fine.
Oh, that's Ma. Must be someone on the phone. Thin out a couple of these rows, will you? I'll be right back.
Not today, Eagle. I ain't in the mood. Go on, beat it. I got enough trouble without you. Honk, honk. Oh, would I be glad to get out of here and not have to listen to any two-legged jackass. You dumb clock, I told you to leave me alone.
I declare I don't know what's come over you two lately. Why don't you say something? I get tired of talking to myself.
I got a bit of a headache, Ma.
Yeah, I have too. The sun was pretty strong today.
Oh, that's too bad. But you'll feel better after you eat. Well, everybody got his favorite piece, including me, with the part that goes over the fence last.
I'm pretty tender, too, for an old bird like that.
What did you say?
I thought he'd be so tough you couldn't eat him.
He?
Not the way I cooked him. And Charlie was all of 8 years old, too.
Charlie? The eagle? Excuse me.
Well, that's a new one on me.
I thought he'd feel better if he knew the bird wasn't wasted. It's all right. This is a mother's job. There. It was all my fault.
I'm all right. It's just that I haven't been feeling so good all day.
We were going to kill Charlie anyway for Thanksgiving. So we're just eating him a bit sooner.
Oh, please.
I'm sorry. Oh, you boys, you're all alike. Always making out you're so tough and ornery, but tender-hearted as a baby inside.
Gee, Mom, if things were only different.
Hey, Roosty, look. Here comes a crop duster.
I'm not so sure I want Roosty to go up in that plane. Still, I don't see how we can expect much more for what we're paying him.
It flies, don't it?
Got you, Johnny Roscoe, handy, Burnsy? Turn this jalopy around. Be ready to blow. Fast. I'll get the kid. Won't take me 2 minutes.
Hello there. You must be Mr. Patterson.
No, that's my partner. My name is Brown. You're Ed McCormick.
That's right.
If you sign this contract now, maybe I can make a couple of more farms before dark.
Oh, no trouble at all. Pen and ink inside. Glad to see you, Mr. Brown. Oh, excuse me. My mother, Mrs. McCormick.
How do you do?
How do you do, Mr. Brown? Do you think that contraption of yours is safe?
Well, I still don't quite believe the telephone either. Oh, this is Roosty Nelson, Mr. Brown. Now, if you give me that contract.
Anybody else in this house or around the place?
No, I don't think so. You're Stuff Nelson.
Roosty, get to that door. Squawk if you see anybody coming.
Stuff.
What's the matter with this crop-duster fella?
Not a bad scheme, eh, Farmer? You were a pushover for that letter. And I figured no, he could turn down a deal to save him $2 an hour. Roosty, get over to that door.
Who is this man? What's he want?
I want my kid.
He's Roosty's father, Stuff Nelson. Bank robber and murderer.
Shut up.
Nelson, leave the kid here.
Leave the kid here? Get out of my way.
You can't take Roosty away from us.
You keep your dried vegetables out of this, lady.
Just the same, Roosty's here and we want him to stay. And don't you try to get tough about it.
So why don't you keep your mouth shut?
Take it easy, Nelson. Look here, if you take Roosty with you, what's going to happen?
Get out of my way before I plug you. Come on, kid.
Wait, Stuff. Let's talk this over.
Talk it over. What's been going on here? You haven't been turned against me, have you?
No, I haven't, Stuff.
Look, Nelson, don't take Roosty with you. They'll get you sooner or later. Do you want your son to get killed with you?
They'll have to kill me first.
Sure, you first and him second, or the other way around. You think they're going to stop to pick and choose?
Do you think that I'd risk coming here without having every angle protected? I got 5 of my best men covering both the roads. I even tipped off the G-men that I'd be in a black sedan just outside of Chicago. Come on, kid. We got a lot of flying to do.
You call that frowsy old box kite an airplane? Well, I can make a better plane than that out of fish glue and old petticoats.
Go back to sleep, Grandpop.
That's right. I'm Grandpop. And you must be Stuff Nelson, according to what I just made my granddaughter tell me. Excuse me butting in, Mr. Nelson, but I want to speak to you a minute about Roosty. I guess you ain't got any real affection for your son. Now, Mr. Nelson, I don't think Roosty really wants to go along with you. Oh, don't ask him. He's ready to go. But maybe without his knowing it, he'd rather be just where he is. So I'd appreciate it if you don't take him away.
You haven't got anything to say about it.
You let that boy alone. Sure, you're his father. You made yourself a kind of Ray Kelly hero to him because you go around with a couple of guns stuck in your belt. You stand all alone against the world and take what you want. And so in his boyish mind, he's got you all mixed up with Kit Carson and Robin Hood and Buffalo Bill. But you're no hero, Stuff Nelson. You're just a spineless weakling without enough courage to earn your own living, so you steal it. Now go along and get out of here. And go alone. I'll make you. I got a gun.
Stop!
What's eating you, Roosty?
Beat it, Stuff.
Are you crazy? Give me that gun.
Hold it where you are.
Have you gone nuts?
Remember what you told me? Never let a guy get closer than 4 paces. If he keeps coming...
Listen, Roosty, this is no time to kid.
I'm not kidding. Look, I'm holding it level. And I'm remembering you don't pull a trigger, you squeeze it. And you know what you taught me. Never throw a gun on a guy unless you mean to use it.
Listen, Roosty, haven't I always been your pal?
I want you to go, Stuff.
Without you?
I want you to go. I can't tell you why without saying a lot of things that'd hurt you. Don't ask me. Just get out of here, quick. You told me yourself, Stuff. Everybody's got a right to his own opinion. Well, I want to stay here. Beat it, Stuff. Please.
Yeah, you're just like your mother, soft.
didn't know they were there. I didn't, did I, Aunt? Oh, I didn't.
Did I get him?
Goodbye, Mr. Chicken Hawk. You see? Your father's gone, but I'm taking care of you. Come on, Eagles.
Next week, the Hollywood movie Going Hollywood, the 30s, is at the later time of 2 o'clock.